Have you ever caught yourself staring into space, imagining conversations that never happened, replaying old memories, or creating an entirely different future in your mind? Maybe you were sitting in class, driving home, or lying in bed, yet your mind was somewhere else entirely. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Most people think daydreaming is simply distraction, but psychologists believe it often serves a purpose. Sometimes your imagination is solving problems. Sometimes it's preparing you for the future. And sometimes it's quietly revealing emotional needs you haven't fully recognized. Today, we're exploring why some people can't stop daydreaming, when it's actually helpful, and when it starts pulling you away from real life. Let's begin. Your brain doesn't switch off when your attention drifts. In fact, it becomes surprisingly active. Instead of focusing on the outside world, it begins replaying memories, imagining future possibilities, practicing conversations, and connecting ideas. Think about how often you've imagined saying the perfect thing after an argument was already over, or pictured yourself succeeding before a big interview. Your brain constantly simulates possible futures because uncertainty makes people uncomfortable. Imagining different outcomes helps you prepare for situations before they happen. That's why daydreaming isn't simply doing nothing. It's your mind running invisible rehearsals. Some people naturally spend more time inside their imagination. Creative people often visualize ideas before they exist. Writers imagine stories. Artists picture finished work. Inventors mentally test ideas before building them. But creativity isn't the only reason. Stress, loneliness, boredom, and uncertainty can also make the mind wander more often. When reality feels overwhelming, imagination offers something powerful: control. Inside your mind, conversations go better. Problems have solutions. The future feels safer. For a moment, uncertainty disappears. That's why daydreaming can become comforting. Not because it's fake, but because it temporarily feels safer than reality. Daydreaming becomes a problem when imagination starts replacing action. Maybe you spend hours imagining success but never begin the work. Maybe you replay conversations instead of having difficult ones. Or perhaps your imaginary relationships become so perfect that real people seem disappointing by comparison. Over time, your brain learns something dangerous. Whenever life becomes uncomfortable, escape. The more often that happens, the easier it becomes to retreat into fantasy instead of facing reality. The goal isn't to stop imagining. The goal is to make sure imagination supports your life instead of replacing it. One fascinating pattern is that most people don't daydream about random things. They return to the same themes. If you constantly imagine being understood, you may be longing for deeper connection. If you imagine success over and over, perhaps you're seeking confidence or recognition. If you replay old conversations, your mind may still be searching for closure. Your recurring daydreams aren't predictions, but they can be clues. Instead of asking, "Why do I keep imagining this?" ask, "What need does this fantasy satisfy?" Sometimes the answer reveals far more than the daydream itself. Daydreaming is one of the most remarkable abilities of the human mind. It helps us create, plan, solve problems, and imagine better futures. But it can also become a place where we hide from difficult emotions or postpone taking action. The important question isn't whether your mind wanders, it's whether your imagination is helping you build the life you want or quietly replacing it. So tell me, when your mind drifts, where does it usually go? To the future, the past, imaginary conversations, or entirely different worlds? Share your answer in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more psychology videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.